Hello everyone and welcome back to A Curtain Call. I'm Finn.
And I'm Max.
And today we will be talking about the musical Be More Chill.
First off, we will be starting with the history, which is pretty short. So first off, it was based on the 2004 novel of the same name by Ned Vizzini. I think that's how you say that. And it premiered off-Broadway in 2018 and officially opened on Broadway in 2019. The last production was a Dutch production in 2023, and that's literally all the history I could find.
But it did win some awards. In 2019, the original off-Broadway production was nominated for 5 awards, 4 Lucille Lortel Awards and 1 Off-Broadway Alliance Award, and it won the Lucille Lortel Award for Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical for George Salazar.
And then in 2019, in the original Broadway production, it was nominated for a total of 13 awards, one of those being a Tony Award, 8 of those being Drama Desk Awards, 4 of those being Outer Critics Circle Awards, and it unfortunately won none of those awards.
Now, before we start talking about the plot of the musical, I will go over some content warnings for slight mentions of depression, alcohol, and sexual activities. Now, Act 1 begins on the musical opening up on the protagonist, Jeremy Heere, a generic lame teenager at home, and it reveals that his father is depressed after his recent divorce.
Which is a fair thing to be.
My father, actually. What is it? Who's it?
And then after that, it's Jeremy goes to school where he's immediately bullied, and we are introduced to Jeremy's friend Michael, and we see Michael comfort him. And do you want to do the
fact? Yes. So when Jeremy is getting bullied, the bully writes something on his backpack, and then when Michael comes, they show that their backpack, one of them has the letters BOYF and the other has RIENDS, spelling out boyfriends because the shipper was being homophobic. Shipper.
The shipper.
Ships them.
And then Jeremy signs up for the school play specifically because he sees his crush Christine sign up. And we then witness a popular jock named Jake flirting with Christine, much to Jeremy's dismay, jealousy, whatever.
Yes. Then Jeremy's main bully, Rich, who's the one who was bullying him at the beginning of the musical, tells him about the Super Quantum Unit Intel Processor, or the SQUIP, which made Rich into the popular boy that he is. He has a whole song about it, and it's the only song my dad can remember from that entire musical. I don't know why. He hasn't even seen the musical.
Jeremy later decides to actually check the SQUIP out, and he talks to Michael about it and reassures Michael that they'll always be a team. The two then visit the mall to buy the SQUIP from a dealer, which is insane. And
it's a shoe store. It's like, okay, here, I'll spend all my bar mitzvah money on it.
And then, as instructed, Jeremy takes it with green Mountain Dew.
I think that's just normal Mountain Dew. And then once the SQUIP is activated, it criticizes Jeremy, telling him that everything about him is terrible, and tells him to go buy a new shirt. It tells him that in order for his plan to improve, his social standing needs to rise, and Jeremy needs to obey every order that the SQUIP gives him. Also, the SQUIP in some variations of the musical looks like Keanu Reeves. Just because.
It's just
There's
weird.
reasons behind it, but it's supposed to be like someone you idol, and in a lot of them, it's Keanu Reeves.
For some reason.
They like Keanu Reeves.
And then the next day, Jeremy heads to school with renewed confidence, thinking he might be less invisible than he was before. He confidently heads to the play rehearsal, and Christine tells Jeremy about her feelings for a guy she knows, and Jeremy initially believes it to be himself, but it's revealed that it's Jake, obviously. Jake.
Afterward, the SQUIP informs Jeremy that Christine won't date him until his social standing drastically improves. Overwhelmed, Jeremy asks the SQUIP to shut itself off for a few minutes. Immediately, Jeremy sees Michael and is elated, but Michael states that Jeremy has been ignoring him all day. Wonder why?
I wonder.
Cough off the SQUIP.
The SQUIP explains to Jeremy that it was using optic nerve blocking to block Michael from Jeremy's vision, and that in order to be more popular, he has to upgrade at the cost of everything that links him to Jeremy 1.0.
Lame Jeremy. After weighing his options, Jeremy eventually decides that he's tired of being a loser and turns on optic nerve blocking, leaving him alone with the SQUIP. Because freak his best friend,
Because that's totally smart to do.
Yes, he's very, very smart.
And then we start on Act 2.
Act
On Halloween, Jake hosts a large party. It's unsupervised and there's lots of alcohol involved, obviously.
It's a teenage party.
Yeah, average
I say
teenage
it's like
party.
I've been to a teenage party.
Christine wears a Juliet princess costume.
Because she loves musicals and plays. She has a whole song about it.
Yes, and it also hoping to please Jake, but he completely ignores her.
He's got a party.
He does not give a crap.
And then Jeremy arrives to meet Brooke, but Nicole, who's jealous of Brooke. These are characters that have been introduced earlier, but they're just kind of minor,
Unimportant.
popular girls. And Chloe tries to seduce Jeremy, and who is uncomfortable and tries to get away, but the Squip is like, no, stay there. And Chloe has Jeremy drink some alcohol or whatever, and the Squip starts malfunctioning because to be popular, you need to drink alcohol, but also you can't have the Squip. So. I don't know. Do you have to be popular to drink alcohol to be popular? Okay. I'm not popular, so I would never know.
And then Jeremy flees from Jake and the girls and runs
Jake's there. What?
I don't know. It said it.
That's what the plot said. I don't know. It's been a minute since I watched the musical.
That's what the plot said. Jake was there.
We forgot about it.
Jeremy then runs into the bathroom where he finds Michael. And Michael tries to warn Jeremy about the dangers of the Squip because he did research into it and discovered that someone ended up in the mental hospital because of the Squip.
The Squip is great. Jeremy accuses Michael of being jealous of his popularity and storms out of the bathroom. Michael, devastated and angry, locks himself in the bathroom where he has a panic attack as he mourns the loss of his best and only friend. This is also where the best song in the musical comes in, which is called Michael in the Bathroom, and it's amazing, and you should listen to it.
It is a good song.
It's the best song in the musical.
Meanwhile, an erratic Rich goes around the party frantically asking people for Mountain Dew Red. Jeremy's Squip finally reactivates, and without explanation, it prompts him to leave the party immediately after it goes back over what had happened, because it can do that.
The next morning, Jenna Rowland, the school gossip, informs everyone that Rich had burned down Jake's house at the end of the party, sending himself to the hospital and causing Jake to break his legs, both of his legs, jumping out of a window while trying to escape the fire. The news quickly spreads online, and that is also its own song, and it's really funny.
And Jeremy comes home and insults his dad somewhat reasonably, but also not.
Insulting your parents isn't cool, guys.
And shaken by that, his dad realizes that something is very wrong because that's not how Jeremy would normally act. And Mr. Heere tracks down Michael and asks him not to give up on Jeremy. Michael reluctantly agrees to help on the condition that Mr. Heere become a better father, aka pull himself out of the depression pit.
Yes. Jeremy encounters Christine, who is shaken and upset about the fire, reasonably, and he realizes that the Squip knew the fire would happen and that he could have stayed at the party and helped, but the Squip was like, nah, get out of there.
The Squip instead proceeds to blame it on human error and tells Jeremy he can improve the lives of his fellow students by providing them all with Squips. In Rich's locker, Jeremy finds a box full of Squips, and Jeremy then pours them into a beaker of Mountain Dew.
Fun. As the school play begins, Jeremy tries to convince Christine of the Squip's benefits. She's disgusted by the idea of it, causing Jeremy to doubt the plan, because as we know, he's obsessed with Christine. Mm-hmm. So obviously everything she says is correct.
Totally.
In this case it is, but you know.
Totally healthily crushing on her and
yes.
Not obsessed and insane at all. The Squip then reveals its intention to sink the entire student body and then the entire world. And Jeremy finally comes to a realization. Mountain Dew activates the Squip, while Mountain Dew Red deactivates it, which is why
Rich was
why we're
fiending for it at the party.
Fiending.
Yes. The Squip retorts that Mountain Dew Red was discontinued decades ago. For this reason, it was discontinued decades ago, but Michael reappears from the audience with a bottle of his own, giving the bottle to Jeremy, but the squipped Jake dumps out most of it, because Michael is a freaking nerd and he has discontinued Mountain Dew Code Red. But also watching this now, it's like Mountain Dew Code Red is no longer discontinued, so it doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah.
But it was discontinued. It makes sense, I promise.
It used to make sense.
I love Mountain Dew Code Red.
Jeremy and Michael fight off the controlled students until the Squip reveals that Christine has also been squipped, and under its influence, she professes her love for Jeremy.
Jeremy, however, knows that this is not what he had wanted, because he wants Christine to actually like him, not just say she likes him, because that's what the script's telling her to do. and he has Christine drink the last of the red Mountain Dew, which causes a chain reaction that destroys the rest of the squibs. Don't ask us how it works. The musical doesn't explain.
Later on, Michael visits Jeremy in the hospital, and the two reconcile because obviously Jeremy
they're besties.
because obviously Jeremy is no longer under the control of the squib. Mr. Heere, looking a lot better now, visits Jeremy as well, informing him that he'll be a better dad. Jeremy accepts that there will always be outside influences, but he needs to learn to make up his own mind instead. And he also gets with Christine, but they kind of suck together probably.
He does.
They shouldn't be.
Yeah, so that's the musical. Yippee.
Much shorter than the last one, thank God.
But it's really good, and y'all should go watch it, and it's great. So that's the podcast. Yay! Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Let's see it.